Previously on Brianna and Lucy weren't invited.
That's fucking
You didn't.
disturbing. And how does someone get that high off marijuana? Like, it had to be laced with something. He had to be smoking
Probably.
some sort of, like, tarantula.
Tarantula?
Just got Pete's. Like, the Pete's
Oh,
pods.
so you fancy.
So, yeah, we fancy right
good.
now. We so fancy. I'm drinking that shit to the face tomorrow. Just saying. To the face. Alright.
Matthew McConaughey. Just a heads up, if you guys hear fireworks going off, it's because it's like 2 days before
4th of July.
4th of July.
And mind you, my neighbors have been fucking putting on fireworks for the since June. Dead ass.
Since Christmas.
Yeah.
The New Year.
Seriously, it's been feeling like that. And they sound like freaking bombs. So, like, it's like a boom. It's like a mild boom. And then next thing you know, this, like, big ass boom scares the shit out of me every single time. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Every time. Never fails.
I hear it too. And then I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
For real. I said this to Brianna earlier, like, I don't mind fireworks. But why do you buy the ones that sound like fucking bombs? Okay, that's not cool. That's a nuisance to me, at least.
I feel like it's more so, like, why y'all gotta put those off at unnecessary times? Like, I'm over here eating dinner and shit, and, like, this bomb goes off. I'm like, what the fuck? I duck and cover. Like, that's how I feel.
So you're concerned about the timing, and I'm concerned about, like, the kind of fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. You could put those on, like, I don't know, 4th of July or, like, special occasions and shit, but, like, on a regular day and I'm just chilling watching fucking a movie or something, like,
yeah, you don't
shit
want
out
to
of
hear
me.
it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. No. And no. So, yeah, just a heads up. In case you guys hear it, it's not us, it's,
yeah, happy 4th of July.
It's just East Side. Yeah.
Because, that's going to be in the next 2 days, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, our episode will air afterwards, but happy 4th of July!
Yeah. America, get your shit together, then we can talk.
America.
So, this is gonna be an episode that's gonna be different. It's gonna be more serious than our previous episodes where we just make fun of everything or go off on anything.
This episode is way more sentimental to us than pretty much most of our episodes.
Yeah.
All of our other episodes are just like, well, because we want our episodes to be, you know, funny and
like a little break from what's going on in the world. You get to hear us talk about shit we don't understand or
just random funny shit, and we just go off.
Yeah.
But this one's real life, guys. We're gonna hit you with some real life right now.
Yes. So this is very sensitive to us. It's very fresh, exponentially fresh. Like barely a month.
Yeah.
A month and some change. So we just want to have everyone be aware. It's going to be a very sensitive episode. If you don't want to hear this episode, that's totally fine because, you know, that's on you. But if you want to keep hearing, keep listening, I guess.
Yeah, so points are suicide, mental health, mental abuse, toxic relationships, and fireworks apparently. Shit. But yeah, those are the points, the main points. If those are any triggers to anybody, we advise not to listen, or
listen at your own discretion.
Yes, exactly. Because
we will be providing some links at the in our comment section, our description section, right?
yes,
That anybody can call if they feel unsafe or if they just need someone to talk to. Sometimes talking to a stranger is better than talking to someone you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and yes, in this case too, someone you know, someone you think that is there to support you, but is really there to break you down.
So, if anyone's listening out there, we support you and encourage you to seek out the mental health in any way, shape, or form that you need in order to keep going in this life.
Yeah. Another thing too, I mean, like regarding toxic relationships and stuff, I feel like when you're in a toxic relationship, you get advice from your like family members and like your friends, and they tell you what to do, or it feels like they're trying to tell you what to do, but in reality, like they're just looking out for your mental health.
Right.
They're looking out for your well-being. If it's if it's an abusive relationship, they're looking out for your physical health. You know, it's nothing to like trigger you or anything. It's legitimate. Like they just want to be there for you. They just want to give you advice. They just want to help you, and maybe I don't know.
And sometimes, like when you're in these kinds of relationships that become manipulative, become toxic, sometimes you don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, it's definitely that way.
Because you're so blinded by love, or think that this person is, high above anything else anyone's saying. Sometimes you can get distracted.
Oh, yeah.
And totally, completely ignore the big picture, which is this person is taking advantage of you. They don't really care about your well-being. They just want to get something out of you that they want, I guess. Does that make any sense? Like they want...
it does.
Yeah, they want like your happiness, so they're going to take it away from you.
Yeah, anything that they can have, they're going to take, especially with someone who is so, selfless, so giving. Like, it's easy to take advantage, and like I mean I'm that way, and I feel like it is easy to take advantage of people who are sweet and kind and sensitive, and like it's unfortunate, but it does happen, and it's really cruel people who do this and take advantage of people, and it's unfortunate, but it does happen, and we kind of want to just touch base on things like this that can happen in your backyard, because it was happening in ours, and it's an unfortunate situation.
I totally agree. And to anyone, if this gives any kind of consolidation, my therapist told me that, being sensitive, being nice, being kind, that's not a weakness. Like, you may see it, like you personally might see it as a weakness, because there can be cases where people do take advantage of you, or people that I guess that's what it is. They just want to take advantage of you, manipulate you to get what they need out of you. So don't consider that a weakness, because some people can't even express that emotion, express that feeling, so they want to take it away from you. So be grateful that you even have it to begin with.
Yeah,
I'm learning it. I'm learning by going to therapy on how to accept it. But, it's a work in progress that everyone needs to understand and practice on.
Yeah, I agree. And touching on that too, I feel like therapy is nothing to be ashamed of.
No, absolutely not.
Anybody can benefit from therapy, regardless of how big or small your issues are, regardless of what your issues are. Anybody can benefit from that, and therapy is just there to better yourself. It's nothing ever to be ashamed of. And I love how Lucy expresses that. She says, my therapist, and like she talks about how she goes to therapy, and that's okay because she's there to better herself, and in the end, she's going to be the better human being because she's taking a step forward and she's doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's great, and she's learning. Like it's a beautiful thing because it's self-improvement basically. She's self-care. That's self-care right there.
So, and you know, everyone goes to therapy at different points in their life. Mine just so happened to be that, you know, my anxiety and depression was getting so immensely difficult to combat. So that's when I started going to therapy, going to classes, taking medication. It's really a work in progress. There's always going to be things that you need to heal, trauma you need to heal and understand and accept. So, you know, and I'm like, what? I'm 26 when I started to go to therapy.
That's okay.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody can go at different points in their lives as long as you I guess feel like it's time for you to change for the better.
Yeah.
That's when I think you should pursue or look into it, you know. And sometimes even like the first time you go to therapy, you might not hit it off with your therapist. So you can always like bounce around and find someone that you feel will suit you.
Yeah. Comfortability, that's another thing too. Like you gotta be comfortable with your therapist or else it might not it might not work as well. You know?
Yeah. So there's that little snippet of my life. But without further ado, be prepared for this episode. It might be a little bit longer than our previous episodes, but we do think there is a big lesson at the end of all of this, and hopefully this can resonate with someone who's going through this kind of abuse.
Yeah, and also like for anybody that has, you know, experience in this field, or as far as like reaching out, commenting, like letting us know if they have any advice, feedback, anything like that that would help the situation, I guess, that we're going to talk about. That's really highly appreciated too, I feel.
Yeah, whether words of encouragement, some advice, legal advice would be great too.
Yeah.
We just want to kind of go across the board and see what more there is that we can do to help.
Yeah, and I feel also it's let it be known kind of thing too. I feel like it's I'm not I want to say justice in a way, like getting the word out as far as like you know the situation that has happened, you know, and like people should be aware and
I guess look for signs too. And look for signs too.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. It's mainly here to help people.
So we will be concealing one person's name and identity in particular. So we're just changing their name. So don't try to look them up on any sort of social media.
Because there's one person you're going to know. If you are our friend, you are going to know this one person. But as far as the other person, we don't expect them. We don't expect you to give her hell, okay? Like, we're not. This is not what this is for. This is just for awareness, bringing awareness to the table.
Right. So we did get permission from, I'm sure you guys remember, Jose De Angulo, our friend from high school. Brianna and I called him Deangulo a lot. That's his nickname.
That's all we called him, really.
Really, yeah.
And everyone else around us, that's what they referred to him as, like, our close friends anyway.
Right. And we, you know, spoke with his brother, Guillermo, over the weekend, and he was actually glad that we were going to talk about him in this episode.
Yeah. And, I mean, he's on the same boat as far as, you know, moving forward and trying to help other people in the situation his brother was in, which, I mean, me personally, that's a big move for him, and I'm really happy that that's like this unfortunate thing, he is getting something out of it.
He's looking at the bright side.
He's looking at the bright side, yeah.
Future ahead. He's not trying to hold any animosity or anything that could, like, eat him more within himself, I guess. So without further ado,
well, we're gonna get into the story of it all because it's a big story, and let's just start here. We went to his memorial just a couple of days ago, and at the memorial we did discover something that was a lot more tormenting than we thought. The relationship that he was in was way more mentally abusive than we originally had known, and
right.
And we saw videos and things like that, and me and Lucy were fucking livid, and it's just like it's crazy.
It was just disturbing to know details, and then looking at videos and hearing everything. And I don't know, for me, it was like, my friend doesn't sound like this, but it was him. It was his voice, and just the way, I don't know, just the way things were playing out in the videos, and then whatever his brother was saying, like, that led up to his suicide, it just shook me to my core. Like, my heart was broken all over again.
Yeah. So. All over again. So basically, okay. So Deangulo, we met him in high school.
Yes.
And he was like super selfless, super amazing, sociable, like just open-minded and down for anything, and like that's how we became friends, really. Like, yeah. He was just out there, and like me personally, I was out there, and we were just like, what's up? Like, we were so social that we just, like, boom, we collided, and and like anything really he was down for. And, like, you want to go to fucking through the McDonald's drive-thru in a shopping cart? Let's do it. Like,
and record it.
Yeah, and record it, which I'm still looking for the video. Well, like, that's just, like, that's exactly how I am, exactly how he was. So, like, our friendship was amazing. It was super fun. We fucking did everything. We made keef together. Like, we did a lot of things. Okay, and it was just like, he definitely added to my high school experience in a very positive way, and made things way more fun for me. And that's just my experience with him. And he was so kind-hearted, and to anybody, the little things, the little tiniest things you can do for somebody, he would do. And those were the most memorable things, I feel.
Yes.
And then, like, that's how he attracted people. That's how he captured the hearts of like, everybody in our high school, dude. Everyone fucking
literally
knew.
Yeah. And there were so many people that, that came across his path and just became friends with this guy, because he was, he had that aurora that, it wasn't confrontational. It wasn't like, don't talk to me kind of thing.
Yeah, it was
He invited you to go talk to him. He wasn't anything negative. He was just a very positive, social guy. I knew him freshman year, and I got to know him a lot more sophomore year. And we just had a lot of funny moments together. We just laughed in class, passed notes. But I developed a crush on him because, it's Lucy. And, I accepted it as of last night, because my friends are telling me that he was my first love, which I've accepted. I've accepted
it. True story, okay? She still has the teddy bear.
But anyway. Yeah, so he, we had really, like, cute moments together. And even though I confessed my feelings to him, like, I like you, and I don't know what to think about this, because I think you're leaving in a couple months. He said, I am leaving in a couple months, so this wouldn't really work out, but, I still want to be friends. We still remained friends. We did projects together. There was one particular project I think we had to do for world history, I think it was. And we had to interview our science teacher, Mr. Panahi.
Oh God, Mr. Panani.
No!
Panani.
I love Mr. Panahi. Anyway.
He's alright.
I think Deangulo wanted to interview someone else, but I was like, no, Mr. Panahi has like an incredible story.
It's all about Mr. Allison.
Anyway. Yeah, so it's an incredible story. I think you'll like his story, hear him out. So Mr. Panahi kind of just, invited Deangulo and me to listen to how he grew up in Iran, how he came over, how he's survived in Iran. It was an incredible story, and it touched Deangulo. And I think at the end of the presentation, he thanked him. Like, I would have never known this is something that you had gone through because I had a similar experience. And to me, that was, oh my gosh, like, this is incredible. Like, it's coming full circle.
That is coming full circle. That's amazing.
So he was always open to learning new things. It wasn't he was going to shut down anybody on an idea. And fast forward a couple months, on my birthday, he gave me a huge teddy bear with flowers, which confused my feelings even more. Plus fireworks.
Yes. This is the climax of the story, so it's a perfect time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A celebration of life.
Right. So I was very thrown off when he gave me the flowers and teddy bear, but I kept thinking, these fireworks, man. They're explaining how I feel
this
at the
is
time.
Literally how she feels up for real. This is like her heart exploding.
Right. And then on the last day that I had known that he was going to leave to Colombia with his brother and I think his dad, we all went over to Denny's.
Yeah.
And I begged my parents to go. They let me go. And then I had to leave because I think I had an exam the next day. I wasn't so sure. But I had to leave, and we hugged one last time, and I was like, dude, I cried so much. I cried for months. Like, I can't believe I just lost my friend. I don't know if we're going to be able to communicate. He was my first love. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to admit to. He was my first love. That's it.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah. So, he holds a very special place in my heart, as he does with a lot of people. But for the most part, I was very incredibly, like, I don't want to say jealous, but I was so intrigued by, like, how free he was. Like, he was just open to anything, free to do whatever he wanted, but he wasn't a bad kid.
Yeah.
No, ever.
No. So, he was so kind-hearted to everybody he met, and like the same with his brother too. Like, they were both this like dynamic duo that everybody wanted to be friends with,
Exactly.
That everybody wanted to smoke with, that everybody wanted to chill with. Like, I guarantee everybody in our fucking high school smoked with them at least one time in their lives. Like, that's how chill they were. That's how, like, that's how awesome they were.
Can I confess something to you?
What are you going to confess?
I feel like you're going to know once I start explaining. Okay, so it was a couple months, I think, after Deangulo and Guillermo left, and a certain friend of theirs invited you and me invited us to go smoke at their house.
I remember that!
I was like, that was my first time I ever smoked. And I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy. This is so cool. I'm in Deangulo's house. We're smoking all together. And I stole one of your t-shirts, Deangulo and Guillermo. I didn't steal yours, Guillermo. I stole Deangulo's t-shirt. I don't know where it is, but I stole it. Just so you know. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Moving on.
Oh my god. He hears you, Lucy. He hears you.
I mean, Deangulo knows now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know you stole my shit, bitch. I know you stole a t-shirt of mine.
Stop.
My tall tee.
He's super chill. Like he would have totally laughed about it, and it's like
exactly
quirky, goofy ass laugh. Like okay, you can have it, kind of thing.
That's fine. Yeah, take it.
That's cute. That's cute, Lucy. Like,
yeah.
I could totally see that.
So moving forward, so I guess did you have communication with him like junior, senior year? I think mostly senior year, right?
Yeah, mainly. I mean, before he got into his relationship, I did have like a little bit of contact with him, and then he told me that he was moving back and everything. And super fucking excited about that, but before you know it, it was just like he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck? Where'd you go, buddy?
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's also like a combination of, you know, after you graduate high school, you know, people distance themselves, not on purpose, but yeah, it's just naturally. So we were all finding our own path. So, I mean, we distanced ourselves to him, not on purpose, but just because it was the natural flow of things. Jesus.
That's all you. Fucking eating dinner over here.
Jeez. I hate these bomb fireworks, man. Okay.
But so that's just a basic introduction of who he was and how much of a good person he was and how he affected not only us but you know majority of the people that he you know came in contact with.
Right.
And anyway, we're just gonna continue with the entire story.
Yeah. So it was a couple days. It was on a couple days before Sunday. He messaged you, and he said that he was gonna come up to San Jose, right?
Yeah. So he had messaged me. So like I said, he disappeared from the face of the earth.
Social media.
It just felt like he fucking. I was like, where did he go?
Mm-hmm.
And so his previous Facebook that we were friends on, I messaged, and I was just like, I message it here and there, you know, every time that I thought of him, and I was like, what the fuck is this guy? And so I like randomly messaged that specific Facebook. Oh my god, Facebook, and it was like Light a Spliff or something. That was his name on fucking the Facebook that I would message. And then a couple days later, like my last message to that Light a Spliff Facebook,
mm-hmm.
I got Jose Rasta that messaged me, and I was like, Deangulo! Like I was straight up like, what the fuck? Like all caps and shit. Like, dude, you're back! I'm so happy. Like we're gonna link up. Like we're gonna chill. Like Michelle always has these parties. We're out here. Like come down to San Jose. You know, like let's go. And so, like, yeah, that was the conversation, basically. Mm-hmm. It was just like, dude, I miss you so much. Like, what the fuck? I'm, like, whatever, I'm happy you're back, kind of thing. Like, let's just, you know, let's reconnect and, you know, let's hang out like we used to. Let's smoke, like, whatever the fuck you want to do, dude. It's cool. Let's do it.
Exactly.
But, like, that's how happy I was to reconnect with him. And then, we were talking about random shit, like investing and stuff. Like, out of all things, I don't know. We're just having this long ass conversation about like investing and like Bitcoin and just random things. And it was just, you know, it was easy. It was an easy conversation. Yeah. It was just like, I'm like, damn, I got my friend back. Like, this is, it feels good. Like,
so with all that information that Brianna just said, like, she kind of relayed that to me, like, oh my god, dude, guess who messaged me? Deangulo. And I was like, bruh, yes.
I think I called you. Didn't I call you?
I thought we were together.
No,
And
I
you showed
had
me?
called you. I think I was in like Dublin or something, and I had called you.
Okay, then you probably called me then. I don't
Yeah,
fucking remember.
I
But
called you, and I was like, dude.
yes, that he was gonna come up.
Yeah,
We should all
yeah,
like start like making plans or something so we all can be together. And I was like, oh fuck yeah! Like, I would like to party with this guy now
yeah.
that
Hell yeah.
we're older or whatever. And there's plenty of people here in San Jose that would love to party with him. So because he just left a lot of friends here. But yeah, so I was like, okay, hell fucking yeah, let's do this shit. Get his ass up here. Let's do it.
Yeah, we were fucking hype about it. So, so after that, like I never really got a message back, and I was just like, I wonder what happened, and I check my messages and stuff, and be like he literally just wrote this big ass paragraph to me, like what happened, and then just a couple days later, like his brother's messaging me, and I'm at work, and like it's just popping up on my messenger, and it says that I have like a new message request.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like, oh, this is like it's Jose's brother, and you know, like it was just you brought, like, I'm messaging you because you brought a lot of joy to his life, and I just want to let you know the situation. And like I'm reading these at work as they pop up, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, what can this be about? Like, what, like, what is this? Like, all these things are popping in my mind, and I'm just like, what's going on? Yeah, what are you getting to? Like, what's happening here? What's happening?
Yeah.
And then, like, next thing you know, the final message was like he took his life 2 days ago, and that was kind of basically when he stopped messaging me. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Hold on, give me a moment here. Like, and then I was like, okay, guys, I gotta go on my lunch. Like, I'll go. And so I called him, and like the first thing that came out of my mouth is like, are you fucking serious? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I didn't have any words. And then we just started crying. Like, it's the sad reality that it was. It was just dreadful tears and like sobbing, literally fucking sobbing on the phone because I was like in such disbelief, and like I felt the pain of his brother, and like it's sad.
Yeah.
Like it's
it's
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after that, after like kind of getting the story of what had happened there, and getting the terrible news, I was just in shock. I was like, you serious? Like, we were just talking about reconnecting after all these fucking years. Like, we were this fucking close to doing it. And I never got that chance to.
Yeah.
We never got that chance. None of us ever got that chance to.
Yeah.
And then I had to call Lucy right after, because like the love of her life. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I was just kidding.
Bring it back.
But no, she was the first person that I thought of, and the first person that like I needed to tell, and like I couldn't even talk when I was calling her. Like I was like sobbing, and then next thing you know, me and Lucy were on the phone fucking sobbing together. Like,
yeah, it was a very like tense moment, because when she called, I thought like, oh, maybe this is an update about Deangulo. Maybe he's telling Rihanna that he's gonna come up, like, I don't know, fucking know, this weekend, something like that. So when I answered the phone, I was like, hey, what's up? And I hear her sobbing, but I don't register it as sobbing. I thought she was kind of laughing at first. So I was like, wait, what? Whoa, what? And then when she finally said, like, Deangulo's gone, he killed himself, he's gone, that's when I bolted out of my office at work and I ran to like the stairs and I was just asking like of course a bajillion questions like what do you mean? Like how did this happen? Are you sure? Who told you? Like 50 questions and then I think at one point I just shut down. Just started sobbing with
Yeah.
Rihanna like
Once it like that's how I was too. Like once it really registered, once it was like, okay, this isn't a fucking joke. This is this is our reality, you
right.
know. And it's just like, God damn. It's just it was so shocking
Mm-hmm.
because knowing him as we knew him, he's just not the person
He was
to
never
do
the
this.
kind to ever consider death before his time.
Yeah, he was just so happy go lucky, so like so
He was
free as Lucy was saying.
peaceful.
So yeah, he
He
was just no care in the world, like nothing got to him, no matter how bad it was. It just it didn't get to him and
right.
he wouldn't let anything get to him. He was
No, at
fuck
all.
yeah, fuck everybody else, you know? It's
Yeah.
like and that's you know,
That's how who he was and there
that's how
was
we
no
remembered him.
yeah, and I don't think there was ever like a secret agenda of like, oh maybe internally he was struggling. I don't think that was the case until he got into his relationship.
Yeah.
So, um we I think that day, it was Tuesday, that day, we didn't have all the details yet. We
No.
got bits and pieces because, it was
Yeah.
just like dead ass fresh. This
Yeah.
all happened on Sunday, but we found out on Tuesday.
So it was, yeah, it was extremely fresh. So, I mean, we got some details. We knew what happened and how it happened, but we didn't know everything. And so,
The
like
play
I
by
was
play.
saying earlier about the memorial, that's when really all the details were kind of given to us. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're just going to get into like the relationship and everything as far as the toxicity of it.
Right. So, um, on Saturday, the memorial, Guillermo, Guillermo, thanks for telling us, all that you know and all that's been going on. I just think it's very brave of you to be that incredibly strong. I mean, you have to be, but you do it like so effortlessly, I think.
Yeah, it's god damn the struggle you're going through. I can only imagine. We are always here for you, no matter what. I don't give a fuck how far you live away. Okay,
We got you.
we're like basically family now. You can't get rid of us. So I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna step right in.
Right? Like, whatever you need, we're here.
Yeah, always.
So, as Guillermo was explaining details, he said that Deangulo and his girlfriend Samara, they met in community college, and almost instantaneously they hit it off and they moved in together. Like I think he said within the first month, right?
Yeah, it was really a fast move.
Yes, and um, he also said he felt that Diangulo felt that she was really unique because she could hang with him, like hang in the terms of like doing a lot of drugs, essentially. So he thought that was really, um, I guess, impressive, and he didn't want to, lose that kind of person.
I feel like it was more than that too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like also like her being Latina.
Oh yeah, that's right. He also said that she was Chicana, and she spoke. They both spoke Spanish together to one another, and um, like he said, they hit it off, and it's been like all over the place for about 6 years that they were together. It was a lot of on and off, but those on and offs were laced with threats in every breakup.
Yeah.
So the first thing that she said to him, I guess when they were, officially together, was like, I have a 3-strike rule. You can fuck up the first 2 times, but the third time, we're done. Like, never talk to me again, kind of thing. So I think, well, Guillermo stated that, I guess, everyone's gonna mess up in a relationship no matter what. It doesn't necessarily have to mean like cheating or anything, but
yeah,
like
nobody's
someone
perfect.
just like anybody can mess up in a relationship, whether it being super small or super big. So I guess Deangulo messed up twice already, and he was so anxious to not fuck it up the third time because he didn't want to lose her because he was so incredibly in love with her.
Yes, in love, infatuated, like in his mind, which I totally understand. I totally understand that when you're in love, you're infatuated, your honeymoon phase, like that whole thing, it's like this is it. This is it for me. I'm
no one better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get anybody better. This is the person I want to have children with. This is who I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life, and like I don't want to do better. I can't do better, and
there's no point for me to try to find someone else.
Yeah, and there's no point of like this is all I'm gonna get, and like yeah. You don't want to do anything to ruin that,
And yeah, so with that being said, like again, he was very hesitant in his, I guess, just in his day to day, because he didn't want to mess anything up for the third time. And I guess when he evidently did mess up for the third time, these are in quotes, by the way, mess up in quotes.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it makes me so angry.
Quotes, messed up quote. When he did mess up, she broke up with him, and it just started like a pattern of like it being so manipulative, like you're doing this to me, you're doing that to me, right?
Yeah, it's more of like a victim, playing like the victim and stuff. Like why are you so bad to me?
Yeah.
Like that
you
whole
don't
thing.
Treat me right.
Yeah, and then like she would use the family as a trigger basically, and like for example, there was one time where his brother was like opening the door for her and trying to be a gentleman because that's how they were raised. They were raised as gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And like I guess he didn't do that for her, but I mean like, girl, calm down. No, she's kidding.
Right. So
she used that against him. Like she's like, your brother does this shit for me.
Your brother opens the door for me.
Anything.
Your brother gives me water. How come you don't do that for me?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. You should know better. Blah blah blah.
And then that's suddenly a mistake. Instead of that's like talking it out and stuff, it's just like attack, 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 and it's like, what the like. Calm the fuck down, buddy.
Yeah. So it'd be little things like that. She would curse out their parents and I guess have a sit down with them every time that they had broken up. Like she would sit them down and she would say to them like, your son is inadequate because he's done this, this, this. Like a whole grocery list of things that, again, quote unquote, he fucked up on.
Yeah, and like we don't know the major details or anything like that, but like that is fucking crazy.
I think it's just incredibly disrespectful that you have to like make up these things to make your son look like you didn't raise him right. That's pretty much what she was saying. Like, you didn't raise your son right because he was acting this way towards me. He was saying this to me. He was saying that to me. And
like that he was this terrible person, which he wasn't. Like
that he was this person who just wasn't it for her and he needed to change, but he didn't. So
along with manipulating him, mentally abusing him, it was also like a family affair. Like she also did it to the family.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, when you're told something over and over and over and over and over again, sometimes you start to believe it.
Mm-hmm. So what she kind of had left an impression on Deangulo and Guillermo's family was like they can't say anything negative to Deangulo because she would give him shit for it and he would be enduring that abuse for days. So, and I guess in a way also like drive them further apart, which is insane because they're family, but drive them further apart because I mean everybody in a relationship they can kind of if they're in a weird bad relationship, right? Like, oh, someone's telling you like, why are you with this person? Blah blah blah. It's reasonable to like distance yourself. I get it, but when it's family that you've had a very close, personal, no secrets relationships with, and it just mind boggling. Like she's interfering in their family dynamic because she doesn't like the way that he's acting.
Yeah, because she wants complete control. Because
right.
There are other people that he respects, and she doesn't like that. There are other people that he looks up to, but she wants to be that only one.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's just driving everybody else who he looks up to,
who he talks to regularly.
Yeah, who he admires, who he respects, just driving them further and further away so that now she's the only one. She's the only one that he looks up to. She's the only one that he respects, that he loves, that he admires, you know. All of whatever you can think of, she's the only one now.
Which leads into the land that they purchased together. They purchased land, I don't know where in Bakersfield, right?
No, not in Bakersfield.
Somewhere.
It was, I guess we're not gonna like disclose the area, but it was.
Oh, then yeah, sorry.
It was in a secluded area, and it was about 4 to 5 hours away from any type of family that they had. So it was pretty far distance to be from your family, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they just had each other and then a neighbor. That's all. That's for miles.
Yeah, so it was a building case of pretty much cabin fever. Like, there's only so much you can take with just, you know, you and one other person before you start to, like, lose your shit. I mean, and it happens. Guillermo was also mentioning at certain points that whenever Deangulo would make the effort to drive those 4 to 5 miles to visit his family, as soon as he would walk into the door, you know, spend like 30 minutes with his parents and even Guillermo, she'd be calling him up and say, you need to come back. You need to come back home. I need you now. And then he would leave. He was very obedient in that sense. He would, just, that after that long-ass drive, dude.
Yeah.
After that long-ass drive for 5 hours, spending only like half an hour with your family, and then you're having to drive all the way back. And you do it because she's the one.
Yeah, because that's it. That's it for you. That's the best you'll ever have.
Yeah, and he apparently had done that twice, and it wasn't healthy.
Yeah, and after that, it was basically like, why even leave the fucking house? Why even go anywhere? Because I'm just gonna get this phone call and like, why waste my time, you know, doing this when I'm just gonna have to come back anyway, you know. It got to that point where he's just like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he rarely ever went out to see his family because of those reasons, because of her.
Because she wanted to have him near at all times and not socializing with anyone else. There was another instance that Guillermo mentioned that he was at one point going to lose his property, and he had asked Deangulo to help him drive up like 3 hours to go retrieve that property. And they were like halfway there. They were like, you know, making progress on the way there when she calls him up, when Samara calls Deangulo up, and she's like, the dog, um, what did he say exactly?
There was a hole in the fence.
There's a hole in the fence, right?
Yeah, that she could have easily covered up herself, but it was just more of a controlling mechanism than anything.
Yeah.
It was something that she could have done, and she if a normal person, any normal person would have done by themselves, especially in a dire situation with that her, significant other, the man that she loves, is with his family trying to help them,
with a favor. Or
yeah,
just...
like it's like a really crazy situation that where his brother needed, all the help and the support, and she was just straight up like, "Oh, I can't cover this hole in the fence. Can you come cover the hole in the fence?
The dog's gonna get out."
And she's like freaking out, and he's over there calming her down. When in reality, like, his brother is just
like, dude, like, we're halfway there. There's no way. Like, we shouldn't be turning back to go cover up this hole in the fence. That's something that she can do. But lo and behold, Deangulo made the decision to drive back to their house to cover up the hole.
Yeah.
In the fence.
And again, this is all out of like love. I mean, like out of what he felt for this woman, and
yeah.
And like, there's no.
He was very devoted
fault in it. Like he's doing it because he wants to keep her around. He wants, this to work out. He wants to have children with this woman. He wants to have for his children to have children and like this life together with her, and like he's doing it because he's in love.
Right. And I think at that point Guillermo also said that he felt like his brother was completely like being mind controlled. Like it wasn't him anymore. Yeah. It was someone else. Which is insane because they've had such a close and extremely personal relationship with one another. Like they were soulmates. His brother and him. Like they were soulmates. They were just one unit together.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And this person was driving a wedge in between them because I personally think because she was jealous. She was jealous that he was sociable. She was jealous that he had like kinship with people that actually cared for him. And she was just jealous that, he had so much light in him and she didn't have it. So she has to steal it from him.
He was everything that she wasn't.
Pretty much.
And yeah, exactly that. Like, she didn't really have any friends except like her cousin and her sister. And like, she wasn't like very social or what have you. We personally don't know her.
Nope.
But as far as what we've heard about her, like, I don't ever want to know her.
No.
And just no, never. Anyway, but yeah, it's just like the situations that she would put him in. It was just so like.
Yeah, there's more examples of her toxic behavior towards him. We don't want to share all of it, but those were just some examples of her very sociopathic nature towards him. And that evidently triggered Deangulo's mental health pretty much down the drain. Because she just wore him down so much.
She took advantage. She knew his character. Mm-hmm. She knew how he was, how selfless he was, how giving, how kind-hearted he was. And she took advantage. And she fucking manipulated the shit out of him, and he was just so head over heels that, like, in the beginning, it was like, of course I'm gonna do this for you, of course, and then eventually it just turned into like, oh fuck, I have to do this for you, in order to stay with you, in order for you to still want to be with me, like I have to do this. Kind of, I feel like that's what it turned into, and like, he wanted to be with her so bad, and it was like, okay, kiss your feet, anything for you, and she knew that, and so she fucking snapped her fingers, and boom, she got what she wanted.
I really believe in this, but there's 3 sides to every story. Her story, Deangulo's story, from what we know, and then the truth. But honestly, I don't even want to hear her side. Like, I'm just so angry that someone can do this to our friend and warp him into a self-hating person. And I was telling Guillermo, like, again, like, sorry, I'm dying. Um, like, when he was telling details in the beginning of what happened, the events that happened to Deangulo, like, you can just tell in his nature he didn't want to call Samara out of her name. Yeah. He was incredibly respectful. He said multiple times, like, I don't want to hold any animosity towards her. I don't hold hatred towards her. I don't want to harbor that kind of feeling within me. All I want is just answers.
Yeah. And, like, she wouldn't even give him or his, the rest of the family the time of day. Like, she deadass was like, I can't talk about the situation because it takes me back to, the moment. And then 2 days later, she's at the place scrounging for who knows what, where it happened, and, like, right. She's over here, putting up a front stating, like, oh, I can't even talk about it because it takes me back to this place. And yet she physically goes back there. Like, that's so fucking suspect.
Goes back to the land, excuse me, and then talks to the neighbor when she didn't even consider talking to his family first and, telling them what was happening.
Yeah. And to this day, like, she hasn't said anything to the family, nor has she released any of his items that she has in possession to his family. Like, right. She's not giving up anything.
It took Guillermo, like, going to the land himself and taking his laptop, taking the 4 cell phones that Deangulo had that he was trying to repair that worked.
She cut him off, like, she made him cut off any form of social media, anything really that he can, like, contact people with. His phones were all broken, like, everything.
So the only way of communication was just through her, essentially. Yeah. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you first.
Nope.
No, stop.
Nose goes.
No! I don't remember what I was going to say anymore.
You stopped me in my tracks, dude.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I forgot.
God damn it.
Okay, well, nonetheless, Guillermo was very, I guess, stealthy into getting all of this, devices that pretty much hold evidence of Deangulo, like, and his mental health spiraling downward. Yeah. Like, he would be recording videos of her verbally abusing him, her mocking in his face when he was trying to talk to her about something very serious. And, just Brianna and I, like, we were very angry.
Yeah, just seeing the videos, it was like
hearing him.
Yeah, the pain in his voice, the suffering, like, you can hear it as he's trying to, like, talk to this girl that, he's so in love with, and, like, she's supposed to be in love with him back, and, like, she's just mocking him, laughing in his face, and it's like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, he's just trying to get answers from you. He's just trying to, like, make things right with you still after all this shit.
Make it easy for you guys to be in a healthy relationship, but she just wasn't having it.
Yeah, she was just literally fucking
a sociopath.
Yeah, sociopath. With her words, slapping him in the face because, Jesus Christ, it's fucked up.
So, I personally think that when after he had, you know, committed suicide, and her saying um, that she was too traumatized to visit the land again. I mean, I get it. It's very traumatizing because, you know, it happened in front of you, whatever. But even her mother and her sister was saying, oh no, my sister can't go back to the land. She's too traumatized. She will never go back there. Never.
Yeah.
But she goes back there 2 days later.
Yeah.
To go talk to the neighbor. And to me, that sounds hella sus because what do you need to talk to the neighbor about that you can't talk to his family about?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're trying to have a story in play so you can communicate that to an officer or someone who's like asking you questions. So have a alibi or a story straight. That's how I see it. Like, girl, like, you're not being slick about it. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're trying to have a solid story so if anyone were to question it, be like, oh no, well, you can just ask my neighbor.
Yeah.
He knows. He was there.
So. Yeah, and I'm sure, you know, like, the favor that they did for the neighbor as far as letting him stay there and stuff, like, he would cover up for her, you know, and plus, who knows what she told them? Who knows what she told her own family? Like, I feel like in situations like this, it's just playing the victim the whole time.
Yep.
It's
for sure. She's a very narcissistic.
Woe is me. Like, I don't fucking. Actually, I do. I really actually kind of want to know what she told her family.
I'm pretty sure that she said that he did it to himself, and she's probably laughing about it, and that's what hurts me, because I just can't comprehend how someone can be so evil and not reach out.
Yeah,
reach out to his brother. Reach out to, as Guillermo said, the suicide hotline. Reach out to
anybody.
Their family friend Gloria. Anybody else, but she had to threaten him with the cops. Oh, I'm going to tell the cops that, you know, you were doing this to me, so you better not. And then, essentially, Deangulo, once he learned that she called the cops, that's when he saw it as the last testament. Like, oh, she doesn't care about me.
Yeah, it was
she
basically,
called the cops.
It was honestly, it was a big fuck you to his face. And in that moment, I feel, is when he realized that. When he was like, whoa, like, this everything just came full circle for him, and he was like, god damn,
this person,
like, she doesn't love me. She's literally been fucking using me this whole fucking time. Like,
she never cared about me.
And I can only imagine, you know, after 6 years, wanting to believe, you know, fully in love with this person, do anything for them, and then boom, reality hits, and it's just like, holy fuck, the only person that's right for me doesn't love
care.
Me.
And there's no point to be living anymore. So he did it and pretty much impacted everyone else's life from that point onward. Yeah. I'm trying not to cry. No, it's very difficult, like, for us as his friends to, like, learn to understand the suffering he was going through. But I can only imagine, like, his mother, his father.
Yeah.
Like, Guillermo. Like, I don't know. Like, that's on a whole nother level compared to what we feel.
It's definitely, like, the rage that we feel, like, the pain that we feel, it's nothing compared to what his family feels.
Right.
And it's unimaginable. Like, I mean, I've lost my dad, and I know how that feels, but, you know, under different circumstances, you know, older age, things like that, it's different, but the pain that I feel from that, I can only imagine, like, the way Guillermo feels, being like one unit,
Mm-hmm.
like how close they were.
Right.
It's just insurmountable about how much pain.
Yeah. So I told Guillermo, and I think Brianna can attest to this, like, if that was us in that position, we would have easily done 20 to life. Easily. I would have done it.
She would have caught these hands.
Literally.
She would have fucking caught these
Literally.
fucking hands.
And he laughed at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. But truth be told, if that was me, I would have 20 to life. That's all I'm gonna say. 20 to life.
I'm just, to lighten the mood. I'm just happy that he's no longer feeling pain.
Yeah.
That he is now part of the universe. He is now a spirit in the sky, and he's
watching over us.
Yeah, and he's laughing at us because we're fucking dumbasses.
And
he's definitely, giving this
big
air hug to Guillermo, or like somehow showing his presence to him.
Yeah, because he's physically gone, yes, but he's still around. Like, there's nothing that we could ever say that could, make this situation any better.
Yeah.
But just knowing that he's no longer experiencing verbal, physical, mental abuse from this pendeja. Like,
oh my god. Seriously, though, like, y'all don't understand. Like, she's straight up a fucking evil person.
There's more that we don't want to share.
Yeah, there's so much more behind this story. Like, this is bits and pieces, y'all.
Yeah.
This shit.
Things,
bits and pieces.
Horrible things. But, out of respect, we're not going to share that. But, nonetheless, the moral of this entire story is, please, at any point that you feel really low, that you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, there's no one that has your back, you're not supported, please seek mental health help with professionals.
Yeah. Or even anybody, really.
Anyone,
like,
yeah.
Anyone that you can go to that always makes you feel better, that's a step forward.
Yes.
Just talking about whatever the fuck with someone like-minded, with someone that you enjoy being around is
someone that's just going to listen.
Yeah.
Without interruption, just going to listen.
And like, you don't have to go and call like the suicide prevention line. You can start with someone who's been there mentoring in your life, with a teacher, with, a parent, with a best friend, with a sister, brother, what have you. It could start there.
Right.
But
if it ever at any point it gets to that, what's the point of living? No one loves me here type of scenario. That's when you have to start calling.
Yeah, and oh yeah. I mean, if you gotta take the step, you've gotta take the step, and like nothing's wrong with that. There's no shame in that. Like I was saying earlier about therapy, like it's very similar. There's no shame in saving your own life.
Yes, it's a lifelong process, but it's better that you're working towards, healing and bettering yourself versus still reliving the torment and the trauma over and over again, and you getting sucked more and more into that hole.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as like toxic relationships and stuff go, like there are tall tale signs that like going to therapy will help you with, as far as like reading them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know it can be difficult, especially in the beginning of a relationship, to read any bad signs, because You know, it's the honeymoon phase. You're just head over here. Blah, 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 blah. You're head over heels, you know, and it's just, you really gotta, you know, be careful.
You just have to realize that you have to love yourself first.
Yes.
You have to love yourself first before you can be in any sort of relationship. Because, as RuPaul said it, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Ooh. Snap, 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 snap.
Because in a relationship, it's two individuals in one relationship. It's not
a melting pot.
It's not a uniform thing. It's two people in one relationship, not one depending more on the other, not any sort of codependence. It's just pure independence within two people, and they're at peace within themselves in order for at least a relationship to prosper.
Agree.
And we heavily believe that people are gonna fuck up no matter what, because it happens. We're human. We're not perfect. But as long as we work towards fixing those things instead of holding grudges against, your significant other, tormenting them with what's happened in the past, controlling them, trying to do anything possible so they can just focus solely on you is unhealthy.
Yeah, you gotta let that shit go, or you gotta let them go.
Yes.
Like, don't even, you're better off by yourself, really. Because who else gonna treat you better?
You gotta learn how to love yourself first. So I think we're gonna start wrapping it up, because as much as we can keep going on about this, we gotta end it at some point.
Yeah, it's just, if you know anybody in the situation similar to that, relationship toxicity, abusiveness, mental abuse, anything that's hurting them, their mental health, their physical being, what have you, reach out to them, let them know that you're still there, let them know that you're worried about them, let them know that you'll always be there to turn to help, to stay over at your house, or whatever it is. Be their support. Even after the countless billions of times they're like, nah, like, I'm fine, blah, blah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't change.
Yeah, like, despite all of that, be persistent and always check in on them, because like the situation, you never ever know what the fuck they're going through.
And it should never lead to someone ending their life over something like that. Something that can be fixed.
Yeah, no one should ever feel so much pressure, so much defeat, so much pain and torture, where they have to just find another way out, and the only way out they feel is that.
Just leaving this earth.
Yeah, and so, like, the more each of us can prevent this, the better we can make the world. No, just kidding.
We are the world. We are children.
But, like, but you guys get what I'm saying, as far as, like, I mean, we can't save everybody, but
as
at
long
least
as
you can help.
Try.
Yeah,
that's
you can
all
help.
that matters. As long as you try.
Yeah, and, like, it's definitely a life lesson for myself, for Lucy, for, like, his brother, and moving forward, like, the inspiration, I mean, not necessarily inspiration, but, like,
the lasting touch that he had on each and every one of us.
Yeah, like, it's just, goddamn.
So, Deangulo, I know you're listening. Thanks for laughing at us, because I know you're laughing at us. And
thanks for being that silly, careless friend that we love so much.
Extremely sweet, extremely kind. doesn't take shit from anybody, but laughs it off with his infectious laugh.
Yeah. He had a goofy ass laugh, let me tell y'all, but he can't give a fuck. Well, that's another great thing about him. He would never change himself for anybody else.
Thanks for
Lucy's first love.
Yo!
You're never ever living that down.
Okay. Okay, well, you know what happens. So yeah. Great. He knows I took his shirt, so it is what it is. So yeah, okay.
And our hearts go out to the family.
Guillermo.
Our thoughts, prayers, everything.
I don't do the prayers part, but
yeah, I don't either. But you know what I'm saying, right?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You know, and like, just never forget that he is within the spirits in the sky and
somewhere
is always surrounding us. You know, and like, you know, my dad, I'm sure, welcomed him with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's a hard thing to, like,
it's gonna take a while for us to, I mean, it's never gonna be normal, but it's gonna take a while for us to feel normalcy in the slightest, which I can say it's probably even gonna be even weirder for Guillermo and his family, but nonetheless.
Oh yeah, 100 billion%.
Nonetheless, we hope you guys, I don't want to even say enjoyed.
We hope you guys got something out of this.
You got something out of this.
I'm sorry it was so fucking depressing, but like,
it had to
needs
be
to
said.
Be known.
It had to be said. So again, if you guys have any thoughts, opinions, comments about this episode in particular, let us know.
Yeah, any feedback, any like
legal advice, because I want to prosecute this hoe before I
something like we're open. We're open-minded, open ears. Whatever you got, let us know. But we really hope that maybe you can also reach out to other people who may be in the same situation and yeah.
We will go back to our regular scheduled laughter stupidity next week.
Our dumb so next week. But we just wanted to dedicate this episode to Jose De Angulo and his family, and we really hope that
we love you guys.
In time, you guys can heal.
Deangulo, we have no idea. But thank you for blessing us with your presence, pretty much.
Absolutely.
We're so lucky to have known you.